Greetings to you all. This is Ground Dispatch Initial course. The course is made up of aircraft load control and turnaround coordination role in ground operations. Basically, we can also refer to this training as weight and balance course. This training is anchored by Theta Aviation Institute. This training is identified, or the identification number of this training is BLC 100. And in the training, we shall be looking at the fact that the training is made up of two aviation roles, like I said before, the load control and turnaround coordination. The title Ground Dispatch Initial Course is to put together these two roles. In the days of old, the load controller is referred to as load master, and the fact that turnaround coordination is added to this role of load control, the designation ground dispatch initial, because the designation ground dispatcher is evolving. This is the way it is done presently in Dubai and Sharjah. Now, let us look at the content of this training. We shall be looking at introduction. This training is broken down into courses, and we shall be making use of course system to administrate the training. So each courses you have here has identification number. The first one is titled Introduction, and it is BLC 100. In it, we shall be looking at the training, exposition of contents, duration, mode of delivery, rules of engagement in classroom and online, then selection / election of class officer, evaluation, that is appraisal and performance grading. Then we shall look at the first part of the training in terms of content, which is understanding the term weight and balance. What is aircraft turnaround? After this, we shall take a test. The next one will be aircraft description. We shall look at the description of aircraft. We shall be looking at the difference between the noun aircraft and airplane. We shall look at them and point to how we shall understand components of the aircraft generally, and we shall also look at components of a type of aircraft like an airplane, helicopter, and so on. We shall also look at aircraft systems, because for a load controller or a load master or ground dispatcher, as we have it now, to perform the job effectively, that person needs to understand some of the systems that is peculiar and pertinent to load control, some of the systems of the aircraft. One of them will be fuel system. We shall look at 10 of these systems on the airplane. We shall look at 10 of those systems on the airplane. Again, another of this course is titled BLC 300, and in it we shall be working on the reference aircraft for the training. We will have Boeing 737 Classic, that is 737 300, 400 and 500, and Boeing 772, Boeing 773, that is Boeing 777-200 and Boeing 777-300. They shall be our reference airplane for this training. We shall be looking at their holds, the cargo holds, and the portion and areas a load controller must focus on to get the job done. We shall also do BLC 301, which will be talking about weight calculations for these airplanes. Load planning and loading instruction, BLC 400, is also part of this training, and we shall be going into company and outsourced load plan, cargo agents, loading instruction, regulation on aircraft loading, responsibility of load controller, as we have it here on BLC 400. We shall look at the significance of a load controller releasing an airplane with the load sheet. BLC 400 specifically will give us detailed information, knowledge and skill on how to prepare the load sheet for these two reference airplanes. We shall also look at trim sheet under this BLC 401. That is the main document we shall be preparing for the aircraft release. On BLC 401 will be load sheet and trim sheet. We shall also go into turn around coordination part of this training by taking TC 100. TC 100 will be giving us aircraft turnaround. We shall look at airside and ramp safety, aircraft handling operations, and we shall be looking at the equipment used for turn around coordination. TC 101 will be taking us to turn around coordination still, and there we shall be looking at aircraft loading functions, load control functions, and aircraft movement turnaround plan, high efficiency factors, and all that. In all, this training is designed to give the participants the skill to turn around an airplane efficiently and timely, the skill to be able to prepare all required documents in terms of load control for the aircraft turnaround. With patience and dedication, I believe everyone taking this training will turn out to be a very good ground dispatcher. Thank you. Course duration shall be 5 weeks plus 90 working days on the job training. On the job training, we will strive to ensure that it is done based on your time available. In case you have another thing doing, maybe you are a worker, we shall secure timings that will be useful, timing that will not conflict with your job. Although it is 19 working days, you can do it as long as you want to do it. We shall make sure we coordinate with airlines that you will be doing the 90 working days with to give you time to continue whatever you've been doing, either it is work or another thing that takes your time daily. You have the liberty to structure that 90 days as you want it. Online class session will also be there. It will be 7 weeks plus 2-week physical class session. Delivery mode will be online as we have it right now. Instructor-led classroom session. We can also go live. Then we will also have recorded training sessions that participants can go through and make use of to acquire knowledge. Rules of engagement in class: no mobile phones calls. You should put your mobile phone on silence or do not disturb. Calls shall be attended to outside the class, but permission shall be granted before you be able to do that. You must be recognized by the instructor to speak, contribute, and ask questions before you do so. Lateness to the class shall attract sanction as deemed fit by the instructor. 10 minutes allowance shall be granted. After these 10 minutes, the instructor will decide what will happen if you come late. There shall be a selected or elected class representative who shall be next to the instructor in class in hierarchy. His reasonable instructions shall be followed. The instructor shall be the arbiter in case of disputed reasonability. If the man is not reasonable in his instruction, the instructor would come in and correct it. Do not use abusive language on each other for any reason whatsoever. Other rules as may be established by the instructor in the class or during all the training as we progress shall also be followed. Performance evaluation. We shall be evaluating your performance based on what we have here. Like I said, it will be on a course system. The course system shall give you a score point. You shall have course unit, you shall have course point, you shall have grade point, and cumulative grade point influence. The cumulative grade point influence shall reduce or increase your grade point average as we have it done in the example below. For example, if course X has 98% score, the grade point will be 5.6. The course unit is 3. It means you multiply the 5.6 by 3 and you get the course point. And grade point will be 5.60. Cumulative grade point there, it's going to still be 5.6. 5.6. Now, if you have 5.6 and the course Y is giving you 85% rather, the score point will be 3 points. The course unit is 2. You multiply that by 2, you have course point of 6 and grade point of 3. Because you have 3 points here, the cumulative grade point is going to drop you by minus 1.04. The final grade point average will become 4.56. Grade point average is equal to total course point divided by total course units. Please note that marks below 75% shall score you 0 score points. Understanding the term weight and balance. The main thing here is all airplanes have limits of maximum weight they can carry and positions on the airplane where the weight will be placed within the airplane. Remember, we cannot reload up there, neither can we drop anything. Once airplane is loaded and it takes off, the only weight that can be removed is the fuel burn. So when loading are done within these limits, airplane performs normally. Outside of these limits, the airplane behaves erratically. There are two most important reasons airplane weight are restricted and weights must be distributed in specific way. 1, to prevent structural damage. 2, ensure in-flight stability. When airplane is loaded within limits, if the airplane goes into turbulence, immediately it gets out of this turbulence, it will return into its normal and previous attitude and flight will continue. It will be stable. But if an airplane goes through turbulence and the weight is not within the limits, loading is not done the way it should be done, after the turbulence, the airplane becomes unstable and the flight crew will need to start flying the airplane manually. This will increase their job load and workload, and things will not be easy for the flight crew to fly the airplane. When you calculated whether the airplane is within its manufacturer stated restriction, you are doing weight and balance. Weight and balance can therefore be defined as calculation made to ensure airplane operates within the manufacturer's weight restriction and specified distribution pattern. The term mass and balance is also used for the same purpose. When acceleration due to gravity is applied to mass, the result is weight. Our sense of basic level of physics education teaches us this, if we can remember that. Understanding the term weight and balance continued. For the purpose of getting airplane operators, flight crew, and other personnel working with them in aircraft operation familiar with the weight restriction on the aircraft, manufacturer provides weight and balance manuals. The civil aviation regulation requires that operators make their own weight and balance manual complying with data, information, and procedures on the manufacturer's manual. Weight and balance is an important part of pre-flight planning. Effect of excessive weight. 1. It can cause damage to the wings. It damages the wings. More weight requires the wings to move faster through the air before they can develop maximum lift required. Takeoff distance will increase. More weight, less climb performance. Higher fuel consumption, reduced range, higher landing speed can result. Longer landing distances can also come up. Stall speed increases at heavier weight. Aircraft turnaround coordination. Timely unloading and loading of aircraft for passengers, cargo, mails to enable aircraft start engines for the next flight is known as aircraft turnaround. The effort to ensure all activities of turnaround are done on time and without waste is coordination. Activities of aircraft turnaround are aircraft reception, parking and airstairs, aviation bridge attachment, passengers disembarkation, cabin security search, cleaning, fueling, loading, that is baggage, mails and cargo, passenger security profiling, passengers boarding, closing cargo holds and cabin doors. In all, we shall be practical in everything we are trying to do. We'll look at practical ways everything we give to you shall be done on the airplane. We enjoin you to be diligent in taking all the training that we have given to you. Thank you.